Hello, I'm at GovFromHouse.com and this is a 2020 Salomon Huck Knife Snowboard. The Salomon Huck Knife, this is a badass board out there for Salomon, for the park category. You can jump on it, you can jib on it. If you're an all mountain rider, you can take this thing and huck off anything that you like. It's for, I'd say, intermediate to advanced level riders. It's a little bit more catchy, has lots of explosive energy. It's a board that a lot of the pro team really enjoys. The Huck Knife can be found, on jumps, jibs, and of course in the pipe. It's a true twin board. The nose and the tail are the exact same shape. You can ride it this direction or this direction. It's going to feel the exact same. It has a centered stance and a pretty unique profile shape called a quad camber. Now the unique thing about the quad camber from Salomon is that basically it's a full camber profile shape. It has a nice style arc. There's a little bit of rocker on the contact points to kind of make them a little less catchy. And the board also features a freestyle edge bevel where the edges are beveled at 1 degree. But the unique thing about this quad camber is that the kind of shape of it in certain spots. Between the feet, the arc is a little bit more mellow, but on the lateral sides of where your bindings are to those contact points in that rocker section, the arc is a little bit more aggressive. So you have a nice smooth flex. You still have good stability while you're on an edge, just carving down the hill. But when you really want to load up that tail, because of that more aggressive style shape, it's going to want to pop you up just a little bit higher, which is pretty cool. The feel and flex rate of the Huck Knife is about a 5. It's definitely a firm 5. And you know, with that quad camber, the flex pattern, and some of the fiberglass and things in the sidewalls, this definitely isn't going to be the deck for a beginner. Keep that in mind. The inside of this is going to be actually a Aspen Select wood core. It's the lightest and poppiest wood core, all hand selected. For Salomon, which is pretty cool. And the board also features Popster core profiling. Now here's the interesting thing about that with a board that has a lot of energy like the Huck Knife. The core profiling of the Huck Knife actually has standard thicknesses and thinner thicknesses with the core. Standard underneath each foot, kind of to the contact points where it will gradually thin out a little bit, right down the center of the board. And then there's thin sections on the medial side of where your bindings are. The reason that Salomon does that, let's say if you want to go up and do a nice solid nose press, you can lock in from directly underneath your foot all the way to that kind of up kick and end of the contact point, where the board is actually going to be flexed right here on the medial side. So you're not going to be like flexing the board a lot in front of your front or in front of your back foot, but on the inside of where your bindings are. That produces a better stable platform for when you lock in presses. And if you jump and you get a little off balance, you land on the nose and the tail or a little bit heavy on one of those sections, there's gonna be a much more stable platform that's not gonna wash you out. So that's actually really cool. There's Tri-X fiberglass instead of Biax glass in the Huck Knife. It gives it a little bit more energy than what you'll find in Biax, and it makes it just a touch more torsionally rigid too. And then for the laminates, they're actually going to be mostly in the sidewalls. There's no carbon overlaid that wood core or within that fiberglass layup. Salomon does a great job at adding kind of inlays into their ABS style sidewalls. Usually it's called like rubber pads or royal rubber. There's actually 4 millimeters thick rubber underneath each binding, kind of represented in that teal colorway here, but it's sandwiching a little carbon strip. So you have a little bit more sturdiness where you need it most for extra strength underneath each foot. And again, added energy. That's great addition to that Tri-X style glass. The base is sintered. I really enjoy the base. It's really cool to see Jesse Paul kind of riding this throughout the summer at Hood, and kind of in last year, of course. And you see this a lot in the brand new Snowboarder magazine movie Veer, which he absolutely slays in. But this is a sintered base. It's going to need to be waxed up throughout the season more than an extruded base. Keep it waxed up. It will be faster than extruded unless you forget to wax it. So keep it waxed up. And then lastly is that 360 wrap standard steel edge. Again, it has that freestyle edge bevel, so it's a little less catchy. The contact points, a little less catchy than a full camber board, but more catchy than the rock out camber profile that Salomon also features. And then there's that EQ style rad side cut radius, which is kind of unique. Salomon's the only brand that I remember as of right now that does it. It's basically 3 flat sections, a flat section between the feet, an angled flat section on the nose and on the tail, and then radio transition zones. And the idea behind that is if you're kind of like, you wanting to track straight to like set up for a jump or set up for a jib, if you create a little bit of tilt with the board, it allows the board to stay going straight on that flat edge instead of like veering off to the right or to the left. Overall though, I think Salomon's crushing it. I believe this is the 4th year of the Huck Knife, you know. Who knows what else we'll see to come from this. There's also another one above it called like the Huck Knife Pro, which has a little bit more energy and extra technology in it, but this is a really hard charging board. A lot of fun in a lot of places. This is the 2020 Salomon Huck Knife. You can check it out at thehouse.com.